Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for attending today's session on building app stacks to benefit your firm and your clients. My name is Jason Hasty. A quick disclaimer, this content is for information purposes only and shouldn't be considered legal, accounting, or tax advice. All right, so today we are going to be talking about app stacks and how these will benefit you, your firm, but not only you and your firm, but also your clients as well. Okay, so jumping right into our agenda, what is an app stack? We're going to start off with today's session talking about an app stack and what it really is. And then we're going to jump into benefits of an app stack, having the right app stack, and why you would use an app stack with your firm and why you would have your clients use an app stack. And then I'm actually going to give some great examples of apps that we use in our company, as well as a lot of apps that are out there that are wonderful apps that can become part of your app stack. And then, beyond just the examples of apps, we're actually going to learn how to implement your app stack so that you can help your firm and your clients as well with implementing their app stack and finding the right app stack. Okay, a little bit about me. My name is Jason Hasty. I'm from a small town in Saskatchewan, Bursay, population 68 people, so very small town. I've got my Bachelor of Commerce and I got my Master's in Accounting at the University of Saskatchewan. I'm a CPA CA. I got my designation in 2001, so over 20 years now. And I'm also the founder of a company called TenjaGo. We're a cloud-based monthly accounting and bookkeeping company. And Tenja is actually a word that means to connect. So very fitting that we're at QuickBooks Connect. Very happy to be here and happy to be helping you out today as well. I'm also the lead singer of a country music band called Jason Hasty and the Alibi. We've got 3 top 50 hits in Canada. I am the author of a book called The Dollar Code, which is all about budgeting, getting out of debt. And I'm also a technology nerd. So very fitting, again, that I am talking about app stacks today, which I absolutely love. This is my wife and our oldest daughter, Eva, and this is our youngest daughter, Olivia, who loves lattes as much as I do. So that's a little bit more about me. Okay, so jumping right in. This is my definition of an app stack or a tech stack. I kind of use the terms interchangeably, so they mean the same thing. I define an app stack as a set of technology tools or applications that a business can use to maximize efficiency, communication, and collaboration between its employees, owners, customers, and vendors. So all aspects of your business and much more. And we'll jump in and see today, how app stacks can really, really benefit your firm and your clients. Okay, so benefits. Why would you want to use an app stack? Why would you want to use apps within your company? Really, and this is what it centers around, this is what it all comes down to, and it's automate, automate, automate. We want to get rid of those mundane, those manual tasks and really focus on the automation that is out there and available to us in today's cloud-based connected world. When you're automating, what are you doing? You're increasing efficiency. So increasing efficiency with yourself, with your team, with your clients. And what happens when you increase that efficiency? Well, you reduce the effort, you reduce the time, the effort that it takes to perform these manual and mundane tasks. And really what it allows you to do is free up or save yourself time so you can focus on the more important things to grow your business and to grow your clients' businesses. These are the valuable things that time takes up, and you really want to focus on the things that will have an impact on your business. Huge, huge benefit to using an app stack. In today's cloud-based world, you can connect from anywhere at any time. So, you may be traveling, you may be, out of the office. You can still connect using these apps, and you aren't limited to access to information or to helping out your firm, your clients. As long as you have an internet connection and a browser on your computer, then you can access these apps from anywhere. And gone are the days of having to use USB sticks, data storage, data that can get corrupted. In a cloud-based environment, you can be assured that security and access to the app is available. Again, talking about cloud-based world. And then also, the benefits that come with having that right app stack. When you are choosing the right apps, you want to focus on the ones that use artificial intelligence, the ones that can move your business ahead, and the ones that are constantly evolving. So in a cloud-based environment, no installing of software, reinstalling, having to update, that all happens automatically. So specifically, when managing your business, what are some of the benefits? Well, if we're looking at your business, let's start with the revenue cycle. So, invoicing, getting revenue into your business, and then through that, the accounts receivable. So not only recording the revenue, doing the invoicing, but actually getting the cash into your business through accounts receivable. And I can use a great example of manual processes. Years ago, I was helping out a friend's landscaping company, and they were doing everything manually. Everything was on paper. Their invoicing was all on paper. And they very, very quickly lost control of which clients owed them money. There was no proper accounting system in place that allowed them to see what their receivables were and to be able to collect on those receivables. Past the revenue cycle, you have the expense cycle and all the things that come with that. You might have your accounts payable team. You're looking at purchase orders, bills, expenses. How are these getting paid? How are they getting approved? So having the right app stack or the right app can really benefit your business in that way. We've all heard that cash is king. It is still true in today's world. Being able to access that cash quickly and efficiently can be the biggest thing to your business in its growth, in facing downtimes as we've faced in the last few years. Having access to that cash and using the right apps to access that cash, huge benefit. And then, of course, people in your firm, in your business, your team, managing the people, getting them paid effectively, using the right apps there. And finally, projects. So many industries out there are project-based. So we'll actually talk a little bit about project-based apps today. And, really the biggest thing with using apps is making sure that they're plug and play, they're easy to use, and that they're compatible. Apps in a cloud-based environment talk to each other through what's called API or application programming interface. And that's what allows these apps to talk and move information from each other so that they can be compatible with each other and again, reduce the manual effort on your side. So let's go into some examples. Many of these apps we use in Tenjago as well. We've found huge benefits in time savings, and we use or recommend a lot of these apps to our clients as well so that they can get the benefits. First of all, we're going to be talking about Practice Ignition, which is now actually called just Ignition. It was developed in Australia. If you've been to any of the QuickBooks Connect events, you may have met the Ignition team, and the founder still comes out. Great to meet him. They initially started off with more of an accounting firm base, and now Ignition is used for any type of industry. Huge benefits from this app. The biggest of those probably being client proposals. We use Ignition for all of our new client proposals at Tenjago. It facilitates the whole proposal process. A couple of things that it does. You build a library on the different services that you're providing or different products that you're providing to customers. Once you have that library built, it's very easy to build those services out and build that proposal for your clients super, super quick. I have been known to actually build proposals in 30 seconds for a client. So it really, again, that efficiency, saving yourself time to build clients' proposals. Not only do you actually build the proposal itself, but you can send it out. Your client can electronically sign that proposal. And as soon as they sign that, it can automatically charge the client's credit card or draw the money from their bank for the setup fee for the first month's fee. Works very efficiently and then plugs in directly to QuickBooks Online and reconciles those invoices and those amounts. If you are an accounting firm or you use engagement letters in your practice, again, another way to build out a library of engagement letters and just click and select the letter that you want to use for a client and then edit as you see fit there. Accepting client payments and billing of clients, I kind of talked about. Very easy to do it within the Ignition environment. Automatically happens and again, automatically reconciles with your accounting software. Very, very effective app that I think almost anyone should have as part of their app stack. So second app we're going to be talking about is Fundthrough. And this is something that I am very excited about. When you talk about the future of apps and what apps are doing for businesses, Fundthrough definitely fits in that category. Using your Fundthrough app, what it does is it takes your outstanding customer invoices, the receivables from customers, and that allows you to access cash for your business. So how does it actually do that? Well, again, connects directly to your accounting software and pulls that information on your customer invoices, on the receivables. It uses artificial intelligence to look at when you're getting paid from your customers. And instead of having to go to a bank for a loan or to get investment dollars, what it does is it automatically uses those receivables to fund money, to get money to you. So there's no loans required, no equity required in your business to access cash. And really, it's all just built around the efficiency in an app. So really, really easy way to access cash. Fundthrough says that they give you lightning fast access to unlimited funds. So using the ability of your accounting software, the information that's already input on your customers and your receivables, it just uses that information to access cash for your business. So the next app I'm going to talk about in the expense and the accounts payable side of your business is called Dext. And we use Dext with every one of our new clients. You might know it as Receipt Bank. It's a company that's based out of the UK that has a very strong Canadian presence, has a US presence. And really what Receipt Bank or what Dext started with is it was all about capturing those receipts and those bills. So it was the expense capture app or software. There is the app that can go on your smartphone. Talk about a time saver, huge when you're not only talking about yourself, your firm, your employees, but also about your clients. As I said, we have every one of our customers get Dext as part of their app stack or their tech stack. With that app, you take a picture of those receipts and you can then technically throw those receipts out. Once it uploads to the system, the CRA accepts digital images of receipts. So if you're worried about an audit environment, I have a good story of sitting across from CRA auditors and clients passing them receipts and those receipts being faded on thermal paper or whatever, and the CRA agent denying those. So once you've captured those receipts digitally, they are now stored, they can be archived, they can be held in the Dext environment, you can export those. Very, very easy to publish to QuickBooks Online, so it automatically syncs with your QBO software and enters those expenses that way. Another huge benefit to Dext is their fetch feature. So logging into vendor accounts. So for example, you have your cell phone bill that you receive every month. You connect Dext with your vendor login and it will automatically pull those bills for you every month and enter it. And Dext uses what's called OCI or optical character recognition, OCR, to fetch the information and decode your documents or fill in most of the information for you. So the amounts, the GST, the vendor name, it learns the category of the vendors. So really can make a huge difference on the expense side for you and your firm and for your clients. So the next app that we're going to talk about within the expense, the accounts payable environment is called Beanworks. And Beanworks is the full ecosystem of managing invoices, payments, purchase orders, and expenses for your accounts payable team. It really focuses on the automation side and on the approval side. So those workflows, those manual approvals that may need to happen on POs or invoices, that's really where Beanworks shines. They state that they can reduce your accounts payable team's data entry by up to 83%. So very, very significant reduction. And also they state that they can improve your invoices 9 times faster through the automation. So those automated approval routings, making a huge difference to your company. Another thing that Beanworks says is that they can get your team up and running in under 6 hours. So if you've got an accounts payable team, learning a new app and actually implementing that app can take a lot of time. So, that claim that they make of the 6 hours, huge savings, and really becomes an investment to your company. At companies that use Beanworks, there's Ticketmaster, McDonald's, Holiday Inn, so some very large organizations that focus their efficiencies and efforts on Beanworks. Something that I am very excited about is Float. It's also called Float Card. This is an app that is finally available in Canada. Float is a Canadian company. We've dealt with them over the last few months. Excellent customer service. And I was so happy to finally see an app like this available in Canada, because for our US clients, we use another app that is very similar. What Float does is it gives you high limit, no personal guarantee corporate Visa cards. So it basically acts like a Visa card, like a payment system that you and your employees can use through Visa, just through credit card. It's like a preloaded credit card that you can use to manage not only your firm's, but your employees' spending. So it's all within one ecosphere, app, one login where you can grant access to your employees. You can change limits. You can give them higher limits. And especially with new businesses starting out that don't have access to credit, again, a personal story here. I started a business where I wanted a Visa card. The bank would only grant me a $1,000 limit Visa card, and I had to pledge that $1,000. So I had to pledge that as security against the Visa. So it was effectively like a no limit card. What Float does is gone are the days of like a $5,000 limit, a $10,000 limit, because it's accessed that you preload the card very quickly through a direct connection with your bank. You can have very, very high limit credit amounts. Float says they can instantly create, control, and track virtual and physical cards. So this is even more exciting. Not only do you have the physical cards that you can issue to your employees or yourself, but there's also the virtual cards. So if you're doing a lot of online transactions and you want to limit your exposure or the security, the risk of using a card online, you can create online cards or virtual cards almost instantaneously with Float. Another huge benefit, no employee expense reports. Because your employees can use the Visa cards through Float, they use that as their spending mechanism. You can also do really cool things like, you want to require your employee to have a receipt to back up their expenses. You can have the system automatically cut them off from their card if they haven't uploaded their receipt. You could say by every third receipt that's not uploaded, whatever, then you can cut them off if they are not doing their due diligence and uploading their receipts. So very easy to have that control in place as well. And a huge benefit is a 1% cashback. So on all your company's spending, you get a 1% cashback from Float. So that can be huge. 1% can make a big difference when you look at your bottom line. Okay, so looking at managing your business, DocuSign. DocuSign gives you the ability to sign documents anywhere from any device. Again, that cloud-based environment, being able to access from your smartphone, from your laptop, from your computer, being able to sign those documents anywhere. DocuSign prides themselves on being globally accepted. They say they've got over 1 million customers and 1 billion users. And I would imagine that at some point you have used DocuSign yourself. Much more secure than paper. Not only does DocuSign meet some of the world's most stringent security and privacy standards, they are listed on their website, the different standards that they meet, but so much more secure than paper, way more secure than email. Email is a very insecure mechanism of sending information over the internet. It can be very easily intercepted. So DocuSign brings it into an electronic environment. Paper can get lost. It can get misplaced. So again, much higher security. And then gone are the days of overnighting, faxing, waiting for signatures. DocuSign says that 82% of agreements completed in less than a day. So that's a massive percentage of agreements that are signed or completed in less than a day. And then signing is always free for your customers or your clients. So, they don't have to pay anything to sign, obviously. And for QuickBooks Connect registrants, attendees, DocuSign is giving a special e-signature and 10 free envelope benefits by using this link. So the go.docusign.com/QBC 2022. So our next app, and we have a bunch of our clients who are based in the construction industry using Knowify. Great success with Knowify. Great team, again, at Knowify. Their support, their help is really, really, really paramount. It's excellent. So any clients that you have that are in the construction industry that are looking at project management type software, Knowify is a great one that fully integrates with QuickBooks Online. Another thing to mention, with apps, some of them will sync data one way, some of them will sync data both ways. Knowify is one of those apps that will sync both ways. So it works really, really well with QuickBooks Online and kind of getting the data flowing back and forth. As a CRM, doing proposals, again, that's some of the benefits that Knowify extends to. Project costing, which is, very important in a project-based environment. And in the construction industry, in any industry, really, but construction, you want to have that communication. When you are building projects, when you're doing things, communication is, again, paramount. So scheduling, messaging, and something that Knowify offers as well is geolocation, which is super cool. And then, of course, invoicing customers directly through the app. So looking at banks, Scotiabank is a bank that has worked hard at partnering with Intuit, and they are currently working on their partnership together so that they can make your financial information accessible not only through the Scotiabank environment, but through QuickBooks Online as well. And again, that's using the secure transfer of data through the API or the application programming interface. Beyond just bank feeds, one of the biggest things that I loved when QuickBooks Online came out was the bank feed, connecting with your bank and having that ability to see the information that's gone through your bank. So beyond that, Scotia Connect, and really what they are focusing and working on now is greater control of financial data through your improved digital experience. So being able to do things within the Scotiabank online environment as well as through QuickBooks Online. And then, of course, people, your team, your employees, very important to your business and your business success. If you're managing them properly through an online payroll software, this can bring you many efficiencies as well. Things like direct deposit. One of the best things is online access for your employees to their pay stubs. So gone are the days of them requesting a pay stub from your HR department or yourself. They can access all of their pay stubs online. And you see this very often when it comes to year end, when it comes to taxes, employees needing to know their year end pay stubs, what were their deductions, what were additional deductions that can be tax deducted, things like that. So having that online access, again, increases the efficiency of your team and frees up their time from providing things like this to the employees. And of course, automated payroll taxes. So gone are the days of not getting your payroll taxes in on time and paying penalties. So you don't want to pay penalties because that is just sunken costs to your business. And finally, we're going to talk about implementing your tech stack. So not only having your app stack or your tech stack, knowing what apps are out there, how do you actually select them? How do you know to select them? And then how do you actually implement them or connect them to your accounting software? So first off, and this is, lessons learned from us, from me directly, start slow. Don't get overwhelmed with the number of apps out there because there are a ton. And you want to select the apps that are going to work best for your firm and select the apps that, are going to help your clients the most as well. You don't want to overwhelm your client. You want to give them a few apps to choose from or a few apps to start with so that they can get used to the way that apps work and connect with the accounting software. Striking the right balance. So this is kind of leaning towards what's known as app fatigue. There's, this terminology out there called app fatigue. Well, if you know from having your smartphone, like your iPhone or your Android, there's an app for everything. So by the time, you download apps, I think I've got 4 screens of apps on my iPhone. Sometimes you forget which ones are out there, which ones can be effective. So you really want to strike the right balance with your firm and with your clients in the right amount of apps that they can use that most effectively can help their business. Intuit has made it really easy. They secured the website apps.com. So even if you don't remember how to select apps or where to go, just remember apps.com, and that will take you into the Intuit environment, which will help you select the right apps for your firm, for your business, or for your client's business. You can search by app name, by keyword, or even just by the category of the app. Once you select your app from there, the next screen that you'll be presented with is a button that has Get App Now. So making it super, super easy for you to access the app and get it installed with basically the security of your Intuit login. So if this is your firm, if you're using QuickBooks Online Accountant, you would log in this way, and then it would give you access not only to your firm's apps, but to apps for your clients. Once you click on that install app, you will be presented with a couple of different screens. This one on the left is one way that you can authorize the access to the app that gives QuickBooks Online the ability to access the app and have them use the API to work at transferring data back and forth. The other way is that you can select it for your company. So here we've got Tenge Go, for example. And then if you are using QuickBooks Online Accountant, QBOA, this is where you selected the company that it's your QBOA account, and then you can directly add it to a client. If you're doing it for your firm itself, then you just check off that box that says install for your firm. So key takeaways from today's session: optimizing the app stack for your firm. Again, striking that right balance for your firm, as well as offering valuable help to your clients. Your clients are moving at the speed of light. They want their businesses to operate efficiently and effectively. Many times your clients could be on the forefront of technology. So you want to get yourself up to speed as well so that you can provide valuable information and help to them, assistance with the apps that they are going to be able to use in their business. And again, the beauty of automation, getting rid of those manual tasks, the things that take up time and effort that can be done in today's automated world. I say not the future, but now is actually the cloud. The cloud is now. We are here. It is constantly evolving, getting better and better. User interfaces are getting better. And at the end of the day, you want to look for apps that connect really well with your accounting software. And you want apps that offer good support. Because most of these app environments are based on monthly subscription amounts, the companies that build these apps want to make sure that you are happy. So this is where the support levels have really jumped in these businesses, in these apps. And you want to find the apps that offer really good support. Different ways of accessing support, whether it's chat, phone, demo sessions, onboarding sessions. That's the kind of support that you want to look for when choosing the right app. And again, free demos. Often, these apps will allow you a certain time period that you can access the app for free so that you can try them out. This is where I say book that session as well with the app team. They can kind of tell you how the app works and give you that information that goes beyond what you'll just see on their website or through their videos. Okay, and so that's it for today's presentation session. Thank you so much for everyone who has attended today's session. Now we're going to jump into a question and answer period where feel free to ask your questions for me, and I will do my best to give you the best answers that I have. And really, I look forward to helping you out with your questions for the rest of this time today. Thank you so much.